Hi, I'm Firearms attorney Gilbert Ambler, and today we're going to talk about the nationwide pistol brace injunction, and of course that's a good thing for many of you, but I am worried that for a couple of those that are unaware, it might lead to their illegal possession of a short-barreled rifle.
With the ATF's pistol brace rule now is under injunction, could this actually lead to people being arrested anyway? Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And you like the channel, like the content, what I do here, you can support me with the link. Everything is appreciated. And once again, public service announcement. For those of you in the state of Connecticut who want to get your Connecticut pistol permit, please do it before July 2024. The state, through HB 6667, has changed the training requirements and made it harder for the average person to obtain that permit in order to buy a firearm. So please, get it done before July 2024. At least make moves to get it done. Okay, but let's talk about this. As you remember, we did a video on the ATF's pistol brace rule being struck down by a federal judge, and that federal judge applying that ruling to the entire country, which null and voided the whole entire pistol brace rule that the ATF put in place. Now, I came across this very interesting video, and this gentleman is an attorney, and he speaks about there's possibilities that certain people may still get arrested. And I'm going to play his video now. This came from, I don't want to give credit where credit is due, the Commonwealth Gun Rights. It's a YouTube channel, and I want to give them credit for getting this out there because this guy makes very good points. But let's go ahead and watch that.
Now, to bring everybody up to speed, a judge in Texas, in the case of Brito versus ATF, issued a nationwide injunction against the pistol brace rule this week. Now, there had been previous injunctions. Those previous injunctions had not been nationwide for everybody, but had been limited to plaintiffs in the various lawsuits. So members of GOA, members of Firearms Policy Coalition, members of Second Amendment Foundation, etc. Not ATF members, not NRA members, though. Of course, NRA did not originally get an injunction. That's a whole nother issue. But now, even NRA members have an injunction because the Brito case issued nationwide relief. The concern I have, however, is whether the ATF views this as invalidating their final rule, because the final rule is no longer in effect for anyone based on that decision. And of course, there is a very real risk that the ATF might appeal this decision up and might get that injunction removed and switched. But my concern is more so for people that actually ran out and got their free tax stamps. The concern is this. When we look at those free tax stamps, many of those free tax stamps condition the issuance of the tax stamp on this final rule. And of course, the final rule is no longer in effect for anyone due to this injunction. And so if your possession of the tax stamp was conditional based on the final rule being in effect, I think it is possible that the ATF is going to say, well, your tax stamp is no longer in effect. And of course, if all you have is a brace on the weapon, not a big deal. But the ATF went around telling people that once they got their tax stamp, they could remove the brace and put an actual stock on the weapon. So for those very narrow category of folks, ones who got the free tax stamp, where the tax stamp says it is conditioned on the final rule being in effect, and the final rule is no longer in effect, but they went and put a stock in place of the brace on their gun, thinking that they had a valid tax stamp, that's where I am concerned that the ATF might believe you are in possession of an illegal short-barreled rifle because they might claim that the tax stamp, which was conditional, is no longer good for you. The other category of persons that I'm a little bit worried about are the people that are jumping all over the internet posting pictures of them taking their braces out of hiding and putting it back onto their pistols. And the reason I'm concerned for these folks is because if the ATF does seek a stay, and this does go up, and they get this injunction stayed, then all of those people that posted pictures on their internet celebrating, saying, oh, the brace rule got enjoined, I can put my brace back on finally. Now the ATF can look at your social media feeds and say, you're in constructive possession, you're in constructive possession, you're in constructive possession, because obviously you kept your braces and still had your firearms and you just clicked them back together as soon as you found out that the final rule was enjoined.
Heard that and you saw that. As I said, logically it makes sense because he keeps coming back to the idea that if the rule is in effect, this is okay. Well, the rule's no longer in effect, so you can't do that. So I tell you, I'll leave a link for this YouTube channel in the description box because I want you to go back and watch everything. I didn't put the entire thing in there. It's not that long. It's like 4.5 minutes. But I want you to go back and watch it because, like I said, logically what he is saying makes sense. Okay? And I said right from the beginning, when this brace rule came into play, I told people, don't do a Form 1. I'm not a lawyer, but looking at what was going on, I'm like, this logically doesn't make sense for you to go out and do a Form 1. I said, just make your barrel 16 inches. Make it 16 inches. Add them up, pin and weld a muzzle brake to it to make it 16 inches. Do what you got to do. But if you do a Form 1, you now have put your item on the ATF's, registry list. Because that's technically what they're doing. Make your barrel 16 inches, and that will keep you free and clear. Now, is there a possibility that the Form 1s that were specifically for these others with arm braces, they go through and they get approved, then technically you have an SBR and you're all good. Or 2, they could deny and cancel all the Form 1s under the fact that this rule is no longer in effect, and then still come after people for having short barrel rifles. It could go either way. It's really twisted what these people are up to. But the judge struck down the rule. The rule is no longer in effect. And on that Form 1, it hinges on the rule being in effect. So, like I said, go back and watch this guy, the entire video. I will get it into the description box. What this guy is saying makes absolute sense. It really does. Based on the wording of the ATF themselves. And they're a government agency. They can do pretty much any damn thing they want and suffer the consequences later, where you suffer the consequences immediately. So make sure you protect yourself. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I will see you on the next one. Peace.